Hey tribe, how are you? So, I've just actually had a call with one of you, and it was very obvious to me that there's a little reminder share that today is a new moon, and when we have these cyclical portals, a new moon, and plus we have a solar eclipse, which is mega powerful, and this is a culmination completion. So this is like a real build up of this year, this phase, this life cycle. This is like the build up into that completion. And when we're coming into a completion cycle, it is a beautiful sort of energy gateway for us to set intentions. So you can also be setting intentions. Now it's twofold, so we can, especially with it being a partial solar eclipse, as in like parts of our reality are going to be blocked out. Now recognize that we're going to see the unfolding of these intentions over the next 6 months, maybe, or maybe year, or rest of our lifetime, right? Because we have cycles within cycles within cycles. So we can see a natural unfolding over the next few weeks, months, years of our intention setting for today. And reminder that our intention setting, or like personal love rituals, there's always going to be a twofold of release. So we can bring into our awareness, what is it that we are actually letting go of? Are we letting go of people pleasing tendency? I'm just like, oh yeah, that's another one. I'll write it down. People pleasing, right? What are we releasing? Maybe we're releasing coping mechanisms. Maybe we're releasing a feeling of isolation and alienation. Maybe we're really releasing any fear around our bodies, or money fears, or whatever it might be. So I'm just sharing with you guys my process, like my technique, but like you guys can, I know for a fact that some of you have your own techniques, right? So we have a kind of this sort of like section where we can just look at what are we letting go of. So you can write down with intent that which you're releasing. I don't need this energy anymore. I'm more aware of this, and I can visualize that letting go process, right? And then in the new cycle, so we have one section of our ritual, which is releasing, letting go of energy, letting go of patterns, bringing, and this is a big part of it, is like bring it to your awareness. Bring the energy of that intent into your awareness as you're doing the ritual, so that your beingness connects to that energy stream in a way that you're aware of it. So it's not just like the mental, it's very much visceral in your body. Like, I know that feeling, or I know that feeling, or I know that connection, and I'm going to work with that. And I'm going to work with releasing that in coming months. And I'm really feeling this as well with the energy of this new moon. It's very like, to me anyway, it feels very heart led, but also there's so much paradox in it, but it's so much about our authenticity and our sovereignty and our ability to be authentic divine expressions of the being we've desired to be here, right? And yet that kind of flip is the fact that the being we desire to be here in our integrity is in service to the whole. It is about the whole. If we're not the truth of who we are, if we're not the truth of our expression, if we can't be that which we desire to be, then we're not in service with the totality. We're not in union with the totality, because we're not in union with the totality of self, right? So us feeling into that union, which means total unconditional acceptance of all that is, all that has ever been, and all that will ever be, is us aligning with our greater potential. And that each cycle we can keep reviewing that, and we can continue to permission one another to step into that as it gets easier, more comfortable, and as our sort of manifestation mastery becomes more refined, as next level beings, as kind of the movement of evolution for humanity, right? Because part of our becoming more quantum in how we manifest our realities and is more conscious, and thus we have to be more and more responsible, right? And that's a big part of this piece of why we do ritual, why we do ceremony, is because we want to be owning it all. You know, when we don't ritualize, it's usually a little bit less impactful. It's more fleeting and it's less specific. When we sit down and take time to write it out, and maybe take a few days, this started for me 3 or 4 days ago, this knowing that this buildup was coming, knowing that I was here to do retreat, knowing that I could offer this so I'm doing a ritual with the whole retreat as well. And we're going to go down to the river. We're going to go down to the river. We're going to bathe in the river. We're going to like proper cleanse, shed, release the old. And then, so you bring out the stuff that you're letting go of, lifelong suffering patterns, insecurities, whatever it might be. We're all different, right? So that which we know we're releasing might be different, small, big, collective, individual for all of us, for a little bit different, right? And then make sure you invoke or call into your awareness that which you're intending for the future. So if we know that we're churning up all this density and this fear and this suffering and like, been over that cycle again, this repetitive cyclical healing, you know, sorry guys, I randomly got sidetracked and I'm like, now I'm writing more. So yeah, and then the super fun bit is like, okay, so you've cleared out all of this energy, or are in the process of clearing out all of this energy, and then that frees up a whole bunch of space to like, what do you want to create? What do you want to call in? So it's like, okay, imagine, how does it feel? What does it look like? Now, this is such a weird shift for me personally, but I think so much of my life has been striving and chasing for some feeling or vision, and I've come to this subtle recognition of like, oh my god, I'm just like, I love feeling, like I love where I am, I love who I've become, I love this. So really it's just actually yoking this and having faith and trust, and like, again, letting go of social media. That was another part of this cycle for me of releasing certain habits and patterns and freeing up more time and letting myself drop into more playfulness. And, you know, for me, being at the retreat is like hanging out outside a lot. I'm having a lot of memory of early childhood. So before trauma sort of like impacted me, I was a very like nature, most of us are, like just hanging out in fields and creeks and playing with nature and creatures and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm feeling it, there's a recapturing, there's a remembrance, like this divine remembrance of that innocence and that curiosity, but also like awe, just pure awe of like the beauty of the planet, the beauty of reality. And I've had quite a few emotional storms this week as I've been clearing out certain lifelong energies or certain patterns that have been with me for a while. And literally I might spend a morning just crying in bed and like letting the energy move through me. And then increasingly when I go out into the world, it's like in Technicolor. The sky is extra blue. The cloud formation is like extra sharp. And yeah, it's just really amazing. It's really beautiful to observe that unfolding. So with the new cycle, just write down all the stuff that you want, like a kid at a sweet shop or a kid at Christmas time writing down the list of what do they want. What do you want? How much money do you want to make? What kind of people are you? Are you calling in more love? Are you calling in a romantic relationship? Are you calling in more money? Are you calling in a new career? Are you calling in a more radiant body? Whatever it is, freedom, abundance, joy, love, satisfaction, whatever it is, give yourself permission. And if there's actionable steps, then take them. So as you call in these new things, if there's actionable steps, as in you book a holiday or you quit your job or you, whatever it might be, I'm not saying make any rash decisions or impulsive decisions. Of course we do. This is part of our practice, to sit with it, sit with the energies before we make reactive action. Sit with things. When we can sit, the lesson will come through eventually. It could take even a few years, but eventually those deeper lessons come through, and then we start to kind of hook into that alignment of purpose, and then we can start to live that, and it's undeniable. It's visceral and undeniable, and we've all, and there's no right or wrong with it, you know. I can't tell you this way or that way. I'm just literally sharing my experience with you guys. And I'm looking forward to this next cycle and this next phase. So if any of you guys want to share like what you're releasing, I mentioned some of mine, like old paradigm, blame and attack, like feeling isolated and alienated, like letting go of all of those energies and really calling in like a mega love, conscious choosing, getting better at softening into discomfort so that I can look at some of the less desirable coping mechanisms, feeling an overflow of body love and radiance. Also, I'm hooking into this like more youthful kind of really, really knowing the truth of the regenerative body, the body that is perpetually regenerating itself. So we're no longer buying into the kind of ageist mentality. I'm also totally embodiment of wholeness, and so no longer are we fractured or split in our relationship. So looking at total unity in relationship rather than division, lies, all that. So purging and bringing all of that to light. Yeah, it's all good, and I've been doing these for a couple years now, these sort of moon rituals, not every single month, but like on relevant turning points, either alone or with group. And yeah, life does get better and better, and each time you do it you can get more clear, and so it helps you sort of churn stuff up for the next cycle. Okay, you guys, I think that's it for today. I gotta say, I'm starting to feel really relieved after quite an intense week. The new moon is here. I'm really enjoying having more dedicated time for you guys. Quite a few of you have come forward for sessions. I appreciate that as well. And obviously just appreciate your guys' monthly investments and all of that. Love you loads. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you real soon. Take care, you guys. Happy new moon.